Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be looking at predictions and trends in scatter plots. So similar to these problems that you see up on the screen. Just a reminder, this is the normal version of the lesson. If you'd like the speedrun version where we go pretty quickly, I will link that in the description below. All right, your Ricasso Recap starts now. In 30 seconds or less, here is what you need to know before you start this lesson. You should already know how to read graphs in the context of a story problem. If you want a refresher on how to do this, I will link that in the description below. Please go watch that before you start this lesson. All right, new lesson starts now. Here we go. So go ahead and pause the video, read this problem, and then we will talk about it. Okay, now that you've had time to read this problem and look at it, all right, this is a story, okay? And it's about how the city zoo sells hot chocolate, okay? And it says this scatter plot shows the afternoon temperatures and hot chocolate sales, right? So we've got the temperature down here, the sales over here. And what I hope we noticed is that in general, right, as these numbers go up, right? So as the temperature goes up, what happens to the sales of hot chocolate? Well, as I go further right, these numbers are going down, right? Like, remember you read a graph from left to right. So like the general trend is that these numbers are going down from left to right, okay? So as the, and this should make sense, right? This is a story. So let's make it make sense. As the temperature goes up, less people are gonna buy hot chocolate, right? I don't wanna buy hot chocolate on a really warm day, okay? All right, so now that we know what the story is about, let's see what the question asks us, okay? And let me move this up just a little bit so we can see it here. Okay. It says, which statement best describes the relationship between the temperature and hot chocolate? And we've actually already answered this, right? So as the temperature increases, hot chocolate sales decrease. This is correct, right? The bottom one is increase. As the temperature increases, hot chocolate sales increase. This is false. All right, so we have our answer, okay? All right, here's our cool clock for today, which means that it is time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. And let me move this up just slightly so that you can see that answer. Okay. All right, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem, you should have realized that as her practice time increases, her race time decreases, so she gets faster. And for the second problem, as you increase the number of markers in the package, the price also increases. Okay, you're getting more markers, the cost goes up. All right, here's another story. Go ahead and pause the video, read it, make sure you understand it, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, now that you've had time to read this problem, so this is about this family that goes berry picking, all right? And it shows you the number, it shows you the temperature again, and it shows you how many baskets they picked. Now let's, and so general trend is, right, as the temperature goes up, the number of baskets decreases, right? It's hot outside, right? I don't want to pick as many baskets. Now let's see what the problem asks us. And again, let me move this up. Okay. It says, which of the following would be a reasonable number of baskets to expect the Johnsons to pick on an 80-degree Fahrenheit day? On an 80-degree Fahrenheit day. Okay? Put that up. 80 degrees. And you'll notice when you look at your graph, okay, this is the 80-degree day. Notice we don't have any data for the 80-degree day, so we don't know. But what we can do is we can look at the numbers around it. So let's sort of zoom in here on just this area, okay? And the reason I'm zooming in on that area is because it's the two closest dots. So on a 70-degree day, how many did we pick? Well, we picked 6. And on a 90-degree day, they picked, oh, and actually we have, I'm sorry, this should be 75 and 85. Let's try that again. 75 degrees, they picked 6 baskets. That's this point. So like that. And then at 85 degrees, so 85 degrees, they picked 4 baskets. Well, 80 degrees is between these two, right? So for 80 degrees, it should be somewhere between 6 and 4 or around 6 and 4, right? So I guess it would be 5, right? And there is an answer of 5. All the other answers are either too big or too small, right? 2 baskets, well, 2 baskets was on a 90-degree day. That's wrong. 10 baskets was, they never picked 10 baskets, and they definitely never picked 16 baskets. So every other number is way outside of our data. All right, time to practice. Go ahead and pause the video and try these 2 problems on your own. When you're ready, unpause and we'll check your answers. Okay, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem, you should have looked at that graph and said, okay, reasonable estimate would be 45 pounds. And for the second problem, we should have said that after stop number 7, there should be approximately 5 children left on the bus. Okay, everything else is way, way too big. Too big, too big, too big. All right, that is it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.